I'd always considered myself a rational person, someone who didn't scare easily. But what happened to me one night has left me questioning everything I once believed about the world and the darkness that hides in plain sight. It was a Thursday evening, and I was walking home after a long day at work. The streets were quiet, almost eerily so. The only sound was the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze and the faint hum of distant traffic. My apartment was just a few blocks away, so I wasn't too concerned about the silence. That was until I noticed him. At first I thought he was just another pedestrian, a man in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, wearing a long coat that seemed a bit too heavy for the mild weather. He was walking a little behind me, his steps almost in sync with mine. I didn't think much of it at first. I mean, it's a public street, right? But then, as I turned the corner towards my apartment, he did too. A cold shiver ran down my spine. I sped up my pace, telling myself I was just being paranoid. But no matter how fast I walked, his footsteps echoed behind me, steady and deliberate. By the time I reached the entrance to my building, my heart was pounding in my chest. I fumbled with my keys, the metallic clink sounding impossibly loud in the quiet night. Finally, I managed to unlock the door and practically threw myself inside. As I slammed the door shut, I glanced through the small window in the door. He was standing there just a few feet away, staring directly at me. His face was shrouded in shadow, but I could see his eyes, cold, piercing, and filled with something I can only describe as malicious intent. I backed away from the door, my mind racing. Should I call the police? But what would I say? That some creepy guy followed me home? As I stood there, frozen with fear, I heard it. The faint sound of footsteps moving away from my door. I ran to the window, peeking through the curtains. He was gone. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. As I tried to shake off the encounter and settle in for the night, my phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. I hesitated for a moment before answering, my voice trembling as I said, "Hello?" Silence. Then, a slow, raspy breath on the other end. My heart sank. I knew it was him. "Lovely night for a walk, isn't it?" His voice was low, almost a whisper, but it was unmistakable. It was the man. I didn't respond, too terrified to even move. "You have such a lovely home," he continued, his tone dripping with menace. "I hope you don't mind if I stop by again sometime. Soon." I hung up the phone, my hands shaking uncontrollably. I double-checked all the locks, turned on every light in the apartment, and sat in the middle of the room, my back against the wall, clutching my phone in one hand and a kitchen knife in the other. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound, every creak of the floorboards made my heart leap into my throat. I kept telling myself it was just a prank, a twisted joke. But deep down, I knew it was something much more sinister. For weeks after that night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I'd catch glimpses of movement out of the corner of my eye, only to find nothing there. My phone would ring at odd hours, always from unknown numbers, and always silent on the other end. The worst part was the dreams. Vivid nightmares where I'd wake up to find him standing at the foot of my bed, just watching me with those cold, dead eyes. Eventually, the calls stopped. The strange feeling of being watched faded, and life slowly returned to normal. But I never forgot that night. I never forgot the fear, the sense of helplessness. And I never forgot those eyes. So if you're ever walking home alone at night, and you feel like someone's following you, don't dismiss it as paranoia. Trust your instincts. And whatever you do, don't let them see your fear. Because sometimes the things we fear most aren't just in our heads. They're real, and they're watching. And they might just be waiting for you.